Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's instalment of Loose Lips. I believe it's the fifth instalment we're starting for you today, so we've got four incredible guests. Later on, we'll be catching up with Ben Bowers, who is a specialist guitar tech for one of the biggest upcoming bands on the planet. Rival Sons has also worked with a plethora of massive bands there as well. Not only that, we've got Ralph Lawson, the chief honcho of 2020 Recordings and also Inner City Electronic. Before him, we've got Dan, who is the drummer of Liam Gallagher's band, touring band as well, and involved heavily in both albums as well. So we'll be chatting with him. But first up is my brother, who's just come into the group, Danny Wolf, Dani Deville, the Art of Wolf, the gentleman who has one of the most purest director eyes for shooting amazing footage in not just music videos but also films as well, short films. So I'll be speaking to him about his rise. Danny, if you want to send me through the request button, shout out Si Martin locked in, you know that. Shout out Henry as well. Let's see technology connectors. Hey,
Yes, bro.
how you doing?
I'm all right, mate.
Wow. So,
Cast up.
firstly,
You might need to give it a bit of context.
I mean, let's
Oh
look at the
shit, as well.
garms. The garms are looking
Like
fresh.
you know what? Like I opted for these. Like I saw a geezer in them, and I was like, why have I got one of those like shitty things that's open at back?
Yeah,
I want these.
it
I'm
looks
taking,
like a it looks
I'm
like
taking
a
these home.
catsuit kimono.
Oh, these are going home, bro. Don't worry about
Looks like a catsuit
that, innit?
kimono, proper
Yeah.
fly. So go on then. So for everyone who's watching, this is Danny Deville, the director extraordinaire, and
I look fucked, by the way.
he it's just catching up to us, mate. Check out them
Innit?
grays.
Oh, mate, it's all about fucking not sleeping for 3 days and being in 10 out of 10 pain. That's what it's about.
So yeah, so everyone who's tuned in, Danny is in hospital right now. He's an absolute trooper. He still wanted to feature on the chat, but he's in hospital. So I think you should set it up, mate, because I couldn't believe what you told me. So I want you to tell the people.
All right, so basically, Thursday night, I live with this dude who's a photographer as well. So I just know him from chatting photography, and he's got a clothing brand. And he'd seen that I'd done like little bits of, you can't call it modeling, but you know, wearing other people's clothes for bits of money. Let's put it like that. And he was like, "Oh, do you want to wear some of my clothes and we'll go out and take some pictures and stuff? It's a nice day." It was that sunny day on Thursday. Do you remember?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, "Yeah, go on then. Got nothing to do, whatever." So he goes out. We live in like a warehouse conversion. So we went out the front of ours. There's loads of shit around. There's loads of trucks and there's a railway like just by us. All different. We were going all over the place anyway, just getting shit. And obviously, me being me, like starts putting different threads on and like, right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. He's like, all right. The girl who was like with him, who's his ex girlfriend, was like, you need to calm down because like we're gonna get in trouble or whatever. I was like, bro, like, do you know what I mean? Like, let's get some good shots. Anyway, so there's this truck opposite our house, like a Warburton's type truck. Do you know what I mean? Not an 18 wheeler, but like proper, you know, bread truck type deal. And I was like, I can definitely get up on there. And then Amaze, who's a photographer, was like, yeah, you could get up on there. It'd be sick as well because it was all like blue sky. So we were going to shoot like tilted up into the sky. I was like, right, sweet, I'm doing it. Had to wait for his like girl to leave because she was like complaining. So I was like, right, I'll do it now. Jumped up and then they got up, took all the pictures and stuff. And then when I was up there, I was like, oh, this is actually sweet up here. Like, and at the same time, we both were like, you know, it'd be mint if I jumped off this and like we got like a mid-air freeze frame, like just being stupid. Didn't it didn't even cross my mind that it was going to be any type of an issue. I looked down, I was like, yeah, that's just, you know, like that's what you jump off every day when you're like a kid. Do you know what I mean? It's not even a big deal. So I was like, right, I'm going to do it. Get ready. So like, also the fact I didn't think about it was the fact that I ran and I jumped and I didn't jump down. I jumped like up and starfished like out. So I probably went about 4 or 5 feet above the truck anyway. Obviously, as soon as I started descending, like I went like, oh fuck, and like it was, you know, when you know that like you've like here, this is the moment Danny knew that you really messed up.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just got to the ground, landed on both my feet, perfect 10 landing. Do you know what I mean? If it was in Olympics, I got bare scores. But like, just straight away, I was like, oh yeah, that's done some damage, that has. And then from then on, I couldn't walk, I couldn't lift my legs up or anything. My legs were shaking. I thought I just sprained both. My legs were hurting. I was like, oh fuck. I wonder if I sprained one and I've just bruised another. All this stuff. Anyway, they tried to get me inside. Long story short, I was like, oh, probably just a sprain. I'm gonna go chill, smoke some weed. And then the more like the minutes went on, the more and more like my leg was shaking. I was like, this can't be right. Do you know what I mean? There's something gone on. So they take me to hospital, and basically I broke my right leg in 6 places and my left foot in 2 places. So I've got to have surgery.
Both casted up?
One's casted up, but it's ripped up out because there was too much pressure on it. So they had to rip it up, and I'm going for a pot. Mid this, you're probably going to see me travelling through the hospital to get a pot done. So you might be a part of the pot. And my ex-girlfriend just berated me for calling it pot instead of cast, because she's posh, basically. So yeah, I'm going to get a pot done in a bit. And the other one doesn't need a pot. I've just got like one of those like boot things on it. But my right's got to have surgery, so I've got to have like 4 plates in it tomorrow. So I've got surgery tomorrow afternoon on that, and then yeah, I've got another however long recovery. So that's me up to now.
I tell you what's crazy is, when you were saying about when you're up in the air, you expect the ground to be there, don't you? It reminds me of when I climbed the wall at Glastonbury, and I did the same. You don't dangle. You look back, you're like, why didn't you dangle? Like,
yeah.
You just jump.
Yeah.
You just sort of jump.
Yeah, you don't think it through.
You're
like, why wouldn't you think that through?
Now, and then it's like, bam.
Because the thing is, when gravity hits, you like, it's almost like you pause for a second and you come to that realization, you're like, whoa. And then all of a sudden, like, when like in TV movies and stuff, where when people fall, they're going like that. Whoa. Yeah. Like you actually do that because your body starts, because there's so much time, your body starts going like, whoa.
Well, can you imagine what it's like for that for Felix? Bang, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
That would have been nuts, man.
Mental.
It is crazy.
Mental. So yeah, like I just knew straight away it was too high. I thought in my head, I thought it was about 7 feet in my head. Well, looking down, and obviously depth perception is different when you're looking down and looking at just a blank concrete surface as well. There's nothing to like gauge how far it was. But when I was on the floor looking back up, it was like easily like 14 feet. Do you know what I mean? It was a proper full like size truck. And I was like, why did I do that? Like, I don't get it.
How did you get up? How did you manage to get on it? Were it a foot up? Like a peg up?
I just climbed it. Yeah.
There?
Yeah.
So you probably sit, so 7 pulling you 7.
There was like there was like the bit at the bottom where you can stand on just underneath the lights, the bar, and then there was like another like little ledge where the ramp comes out. So I jumped on that, and then there was like 2 handles. So like I did like a little rock climb up onto the handles, and then pulled myself up. And then on top of the truck there was like scaffolding like wood, like what they use for scaffolding. So it was like the whole top was like that. So I was like, all right, sweet. Yeah, so I got up easy. Got down easier, to be fair, but like didn't work out as well.
Thinking you were parkour and that.
Yeah. Papa did a Michael fucking what's his name, didn't I? Parkour. So yeah, that's why I'm where I'm at. I'm just like sat chilling. I've like been so much pain though. It's been probably the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. It's been crazy, like really, really crazy.
So how long are you gonna be in there, do you think?
Well, I've got surgery tomorrow, and I think recovery after that, because I'm having the plates to keep you in a bit longer. So it might be about 4 or 5 days after that. And then it's like 12 weeks recovery after that at home. But like the first 6 weeks, you can't put weight on. So I've got both legs done up, so I'm not going to be able to walk. And then after 6 weeks, you can walk on crutches. So yeah, awesome.
So leading that full circle then, will that, when you get back up and running and we're allowed back out, how's that going to impact your vocation?
Well, it's going to impact it massively at the minute because I can't do anything. Like I can't. There's no way I could do a shoot or do photography or anything with the way I am now. And even if I'm on crutches, it'd just be a nightmare because I don't know if you've ever been on crutches, but just getting around on crutches is an absolute nightmare. Like it's not easy at all. It's hard work to like be on crutches all day. But this, my only like kind of saving grace, I think, in it all is it's happened now, and I'm hoping that they run the course together. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Like I'll start hitting just as that drops off. Do you know what I mean? So then hopefully like by that point I will have been in a position where I feel comfortable to actually do stuff. So that's my kind of dream scenario with it, but we'll see what happens. Like the thing is though, like, I'm in this hospital and I've been talking to the nurse today, and she's been up in the COVID ward. She does like a day on day off at the COVID ward, and she was just saying that one of her best mates just died 2 days ago, a fellow nurse. There's loads of flowers outside our ward for him, and she was just like, you don't understand how bad it is. Like people it's not flu. People are literally like gassed out. Do you know what I mean? Like people are just on ventilators, like fighting for their lives and stuff. And I was like, I don't feel that hard done by. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the worst I've probably ever been in my life. I've had a lot of different injuries and I do a lot of stupid things, but like, even though I'm in all this pain, I'm just looking at myself and going, well, you know what I mean? I've got nurses looking after me. I've got a warm bed, got food, I've got mates to talk to. I've got people ringing me well wishes. Do you know what I mean? You got to look at it for what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're always going to have shit like this happen. So it doesn't really, I'm not really fazed by this type of thing. Do you know what I mean? I kind of expect it, and I think everybody should kind of expect it because it doesn't end. Do you know what I mean? It just keeps going. You're going to keep getting obstacles. So I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty chill about it, to be honest. I'm pretty optimistic about it.
Good man, good man. Well, let's rewind it all the way back to before you even started doing what you were doing. Where did the passion for films come from?
I think it started properly where I was getting deep into it when I had insomnia when I was a kid. So I had insomnia from about 12, 13, really bad, where I was like, actually, I would not sleep all night, get up, go to school, same again every night, same again every night. And to kind of combat that, back in the days when video shops were a thing, there was the video shop on the end of my road, and that's all I used to do was go and I'd rent 4 VHS tapes, showing my age now, rent 4 VHS tapes, and that'd be my night. It'd be like 8 hours, 2, 4, 6, 8 hours, whatever, of like film for watching films. So I did that for a good 2 years, from maybe like 12, 13 to 14, 15. By the time that 2 years had done, I'd watched probably thousands and thousands of films. I'd bought thousands of films. My whole room was full of them. And I think I'd like, I'd taught myself, I was teaching myself film at that point. I was going beyond like all the films that you watch growing up because it's just the film that kids watch, to watching like, serious movies that you would never even imagine a 12 or 13-year-old watching, I guess. So I think like that's what's kind of moved me from being a film fan to being like a fanatic, or having a passion for it. And at that point, I never imagined. I mean, I don't. Whoever's listening to this knows, but we're from the same ends. Me and Brownie, we're both from Bradford. So yeah. So I don't know what it was like for you with the things you wanted to do, but no one ever told me I could be a film director when I grew up in Bradford. So there was zero job opportunities for what I actually wanted to do in my life. So it was never even a thought in my head like, oh yeah, I want to be a film director, or I want to be an actor. It was like, you're going to go work in a factory, or you're going to be a mechanic. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, I never felt like I had an opportunity to even consider it at that age. So it was never even a thing. It wasn't until probably I got to maybe about 17 or 18 where I was kind of thinking I was so serious about it. I was like, oh, one day, that dream of one day I'll get to make films, or I'll be a part of them, or I didn't even know what a director or cinematographer, the difference was between them at that point. Do you know what I mean? I just knew that, like, I knew Steven Spielberg was, and I knew a few like other directors were, but I didn't know the ins and outs of it all. Like, so it was kind of like that thing of like slowly started to like give myself belief that somehow something was going to materialize for me, and somehow something was going to like land in front of me and give me an opportunity. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of like slowly progressed from there. And it wasn't until, I didn't go to film school till I was 24.
This is one thing I wanted to like, I'm glad you brought it up, because you had your own business and everything. And I remember that switch, even at that point of that, like your age when you were like mid-20s, whatever, and you were saying, this is what I was going to do. I know people looked and thought, what he's doing, what he's giving up this for. So would you like to sort of take us through what you were doing and what made you take the leap?
Yeah, well, absolute brutal honesty. I was getting wrecked every night. I had this business, met all the boys.
So his business wasn't getting wrecked. His business was in the Leeds Corn Exchange.
Yeah, let's give that context.
Yeah. You had
So
your
I had a movie store basically. It was everything. The only thing I knew how to do at that point was to have something to do with movies because I loved movies. So it was like sell everything that involved in movies, from posters to figures to
to the
cars
bad
to
motherfucker wallet.
bad motherfucker. Did you get one of them? Did I give
No,
you one?
Bingley got it, didn't he?
Did Bingley get it? Did he? Yeah. So it was like I was doing that, so I didn't have to go get some shitty jobs. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was my passion. It was like I just wanted to do something for myself that wasn't going to like burn me. And then I moved to Leeds, which is where I met you lot. Started going out, and I'd already lost the care to do it because my head wasn't in it. And I think like obviously like going out and taking drugs and meeting a certain group of people and freeing yourself up and like starting to vibrate higher and higher and higher on a short period of time, it really made me realize like shit, like I can actually do whatever I want. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to, nothing can stop me from getting to where I want to be. Things can get in the way.
Do you feel that the collective of people that we had that really were emphasised by what people have gone to do? It were almost like we're in a collective, but we didn't realise how much we were spurring each other on to the point of anything is possible at that point. It was just we were going out, we were living, and it was like, you can do that, we can do that. And
I think there was almost like a weird thing where like it was like this perfect storm of characters that we all met each other, and everyone was different, but everyone was on the same vibe. Everyone had their own thing going on. Everyone had a future plan that was like kind of a fantastical dream. No one was just like, oh, I'm going to be an accountant. Everyone was like, I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be a presenter. I'm going to do this. I want to go on a boat. I want to go. Do you know what I mean? It was everyone was like on this like mad thing, and it was like we were all just like, obviously we were all loved up. Do you know what I mean? We were all I was in love with all of my friends. Do you know what I mean? I was the best. It was the best time for me, like to come from where I come from. Like I didn't hang out with people. Do you know what I mean? I didn't do anything in Bradford. Like I'd grown up being like bullied and being in shit situations and being caught up in bad shit. Do you know what I mean? To go from that to that was like a big leap for me. So it was like, wow, there's another world out there of people that actually like are just sound and you can actually enjoy yourself and there's no bullshit around it. And I think that cultivated in my mind, like, right, fuck it, take the leap. Do you know what I mean? And I wrote a letter to Northern Film School while I was I was on the floor behind the desk of my business. I just closed the shop because I've been on a Louis from Mission, and I was on the floor and I was just lied there and I was like, I can't be doing this. Do you know what I mean? I can't be. This isn't my life. Do you know what I mean? And I literally penned a letter out to the Northern Film School, just basically expanding on what I've said to you, like going more into like my background and things that happened when I was a kid and stuff, and just like literal give us a chance. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not saying I deserve one, but I know I would take it. And that's how I got my interview for the Northern Film School, and went in, got my interview, charmed them as I do. Oh yeah. And they got in. They give like one or two special places to people, either a mature student or somebody who doesn't have A levels or somebody who's just got the passion. And I was lucky enough to be that person that year, and that's kind of got me on the path to getting myself, get my degree, getting to London.
I was going to add to that then. So you've done what you've needed to do at the film school, Northern Film School. Obviously, Leeds was a beautiful base, but then the migration to London. Was that something that just seemed the conclusive next step, or do you think it could have worked being up here?
No, I don't think it could. Like at the end of the day, if you want to play football, you go to Madrid, you go to Manchester, you go to London, you go to exactly. Do you know what I mean? You go to the Meccas. Do you know what I mean? You can play football in Barnsley if you want to, but you're not gonna reach your potential that you believe you can reach there. Do you know what I mean? That's what I always thought. It's like you need to go chase it. I wanted to chase it down, and like I was, I don't have any shame in saying it. I was probably doing a little bit too many drugs at that point in my life, and that had kind of taken over a little bit, probably taken over a lot of us at that point. We were just partying way too hard, having way too good a time. And I knew that when I graduated, I remember I lived on my own in town, and I knew that if I didn't leave, like this was it for me. This was my life. I was going to be sitting there getting wrecked, doing the same thing. If you go back to Leeds now, you see those same people that are doing the same thing, same after party, 10 years on. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I never wanted to be that. Do you know what I mean? I never got in it to be that. You know what I mean? I fell into drugs and partying, and I love it, and I'll always have a special place
You
for
didn't
me.
want it to
Like,
saturate you. You didn't want it to dry you
yeah,
because it had given so much.
yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna die of a drug overdose, I want to die famous of a drug overdose so everyone knows I died of a drug overdose. Do you know what I mean? I want to die on my own, like no one knowing what the fuck went on. That was only half a joke, by the way. Um, so yeah, it was just like I remember thinking, I was like, right, I need to get to London. I need to get out of here. Do you know what I mean? My degree's not going to do anything sat in my pocket. I'm not going to get where I want to be sat up here. Do you know what I mean? The opportunities are there, and I got one of our other mates, Raimundo, knew a guy called Ryan Hope, who was a director. He's a director for a production company at the time, and he got me work experience. So I went down, did a couple of weeks work experience down there, and I got on so well with them. They're all Northern lads, so I got on really well with them. I bossed it basically because I was editing. I was doing everything the first week I was there. I was edit. They had two guys hired, runners hired, and I just like wiped their jobs out, and they fired them two and just kept me. So I was like, a fair one. Like, I mean, I do know. I'm. It kind of gave me that thing to. I do know what I'm doing a little bit then because I've come from obscurity of never having worked in the film industry or never made a film for myself apart from my graduation piece, to, being
Getting that
recognised.
recognition.
Yeah, being recognised at a production company, and a cool one as well, like a really cool one. And that's how it started. And then I was an intern there for 2 years, unpaid. You know what I mean? I slogged there, like made ends meet, worked, did everything I could. I was doing 15, 18-hour days there for 2 years. And in that time, made my first kind of major production, I guess you'd call it, which was a fashion film for this lingerie brand called Kiss Me Deadly. And that won an award. And that kind of got me my first, I guess, signing to pitch and make films. So while I was an intern at Stamp, which is a production company I was at, they let me start pitching on music videos.
So can you tell us that process?
Yeah.
Because it's quite an interesting angle which a lot of people don't really get to see. So you've sort of built your kudos up now, so people like your eye, your view, your taste of what you're shooting.
Yeah.
Then you get to go pitch. So how do you what do you do? How do you go about that?
It's when you are a director in particular, your jobs come by win or lose. They don't come by any other way. You have to pitch for the job. If you win the job, you get it and you get paid. If you lose the job, you don't get the job and you don't get paid. There's no salary. There's no getting paid to pitch. There's none of that stuff. So it's really simple. Like, let's say you are the artist and you've got a song and you want a music video. There are middlemen, basically called like management companies, that will manage that situation. So your manager would send a brief to these companies and go, we want a video, we've got 10 grand, it's for Brownie, it's this type of music, he wants it to be a narrative piece, blah blah blah, whatever brief you would give. That then comes out to us directors, gets sent to directors that they think is in line, got the right style or would suit the track or whatever. And then we submit what's called a treatment, which is basically, words and images and whatever you want to sell that video on paper. Some basic treatment is, you should read that treatment and by the end of it, know exactly what that video is going to look like, feel like, sound like, whatever. And that's how you do it, so you have to spend 24 hours, 48 hours, 4 days, whatever it is, making this document, which is a job in itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a researcher's job. So researcher in a production company does that. They make treatments for people, and I did that. I kind of fell into that during that time as well, because we're really well paid. You get 350 quid a day to do that.
You get to see what goes into preparing.
Yeah. It's how I learned to make treatments by doing other people's, and I write as well. So it's like people started asking me to write their treatments for them, and that's when it got really weird, because it was like, when you're creating something, when you consider yourself an artist, or whether somebody else considers what you do art, it's weird when somebody monetizes it and you have to give it away. So it's like I always remember I did this. I was pitching on a music video which was like $1,000, and I was writing a treatment for another director, a big director, for Formula One, which was like £1 million commercial. And I was like looking at these two things, and I was writing this for myself that was $1,000. I was writing this what was £1 million for this director. I didn't win mine that was a grand, and he won his that was £1,000,000, but it was mine.
Yeah, yeah.
I wrote the idea. I referenced the images. I put the lighting in there. I put the direction in there. I told them what type of casting I'd like to see, what eye color, or that the girl should have freckles, all this stuff. And when the commercial came out, it was exactly as I'd written it. So it was my idea, and it made me kind of step back and go like, I don't know how comfortable I am giving away, because your when you're an artist, your talent is your commodity.
Yeah.
Like you're paid for your taste. It's as simple
Yeah,
as that.
it is your taste. It's your taste,
It's
and
your
not only
taste.
that, but how you can best show that.
Yeah, how you interpret it. Yeah, basically. But the bottom line is, yeah, you are paid for your taste. You're paid for your opinion. I'm paid. I'm paid. You know, when I go and shoot a music video or a commercial or whatever it is, I'm paid to make all those decisions correctly. That's what they pay me to do. They pay me to go, right, lighting, get it right, music, get it right, directing, art, get it right, production design, get it right, and I have to be the one that lands on, and I have to give my opinion, and that opinion has to be right 1,000 times to get a good film. Do you know what I mean? And that's what directing and that's what filmmaking is. And
Well,
it's
that's do you know? So, sorry to cut you, but that's another mad
fine.
thing about the directing side. Because for people who are watching, me and Danny, your boys, go way back, and just before Christmas, he agreed to shoot me doing like a one piece to the camera. Got
Who
it
was that?
first
Sorry.
take. Got it first take. You know, mate.
Oh, me. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
when you were
thought I'd been
shooting
talking
it,
to
I got
somebody else.
it first take.
You did get to say, yeah, yeah.
One thing that you said, interestingly enough, is that you'd not used your DSLR or operated on a camera in a long time, and I'd not really stepped from the distinction of, wow, you know, I know you're a director, but a director is doing all those different assets as
Mm,
opposed to just one thing. It's the whole overall like
yeah. I think
operation
I
that you're
think a lot of
overseeing.
a lot of people think when you say director that it's the guy with the camera in the hand running
Yeah,
around filming people. That's the cameraman. It's not even the cinematographer. So the cameraman is a guy holding the camera. Then you've got a cinematographer stood behind him who is the head of the camera department who runs that department. So there's a focus puller, there's a cameraman, there's a loader, whatever. All those people in that department is run by the cinematographer, and his job is to make sure the film looks how the director wants it to look. And then you go to art department, and there's a seamstress, and there's a set designer, and there's a painter, and there's all these different artists there. But then there's an art director who runs that department. So they're the head of that department. And they make sure that what I say goes into the art department. And that goes all the way around lighting. Gaffer is head of lighting, and you've got Spark, and you've got all these different people that work for them. So it's loads of little businesses and loads of little communities inside of one big film set that are all running independently through what I want them to do. So I liaise with my heads of department and the people who I don't speak to them, but I've got 4 heads of department. I've got my cinematographer, I've got my art director, I've got my production designer, I've got my lighting tech, I've got all these people, and I will speak to all of them between every take, and I'll say I want to change this lighting, I want a 2K light there, let's change this outfit, let's change that, whatever. And all the time you're creating this tapestry as it goes along. Do you know what I mean? It's a director is the best. I've probably told you this, Brownie, so loads of times before, because I always say it when I'm fucked. But the best description of a director that I've ever heard is Scorsese, and he said that a painter has a brush, a pot of paint, an easel, etc., etc. All these singular things, and he uses all those things to create his work of art. It goes on a wall, people call it art, and that's what he's created, and he walks away from it. A director does exactly the same thing, but instead of having one easel, one piece of paper, one blah blah blah, he's got 1,000 easels, 1,000 paintbrushes, 1,000, you know, all these different things, and they're all in the hands of 1,000 different people that he has to trust to
yeah,
paint exactly how he wants it to be painted. And his job is to convey exactly what he wants them to paint on their individual piece of paper. So when all those pieces of paper are put together, it creates a perfect collage of what he envisioned. And that's when I knew what directing was, when I heard that quote, and that's always stuck with me. And I always say that because it is hard for people to understand what it is sometimes.
would that also then come into play? Because giving that sort of in-depth view to it, how key pre-production is.
Pre-production in the sense of what? Do you mean overall, just like the utilizing pre-production?
Yeah, I mean, from what I would have thought, director would have been just rocked up to the film set, everyone's sort of there, and it's like action, cut, you know, seeing how it is, seeing how they want to link it together and everything. But now it's almost like, right, well, you've got so many different facets that are crucial to the vision. So it's almost like you've got the whole team, everybody, all the crew on board. Then you've got to have your own separate little meetings. Then you've got to have other meetings. Then you've got to see everything get set up, and it's another world which I didn't even consider until you've sort of started to bring
Yeah,
it
yeah.
home.
Well, there's three worlds of production. There's pre-production, in production, and post-production. Those are the three levels. So you start in pre-production. In pre-production, you start with obviously the script. You hire the crew, you hire the locations, you get everything together that you need. You have all your meetings, you set everything up. You go on recce's, location recce's, see location. You go on tech
Sorry, when
recce's.
you're going on recce's, is that you, or again is that other people who are?
That'll be normally the heads of department. So if it was a tech recce, I'll be going with my cinematographer, my gaffer, etc. All the people who are involved in the technical side of making the film. While on that recce, we would block out what's going to happen. Like for example, this ward, this was the scene. It's me. Okay, we want the camera to track in, and we want to pan round and see me here talking to you. Blah blah blah. So we would block all that out in pre-production. We'd know where the camera was going to be. Then the gaffer would come in. We'd talk about how we want it to be lit, where we can put the lighting. We'd look where the lighting needs to go. So when it comes to the day, you've got your plan ready to go, and you hit the ground running. On shoot days, anyone that shoots, anyone that's listening now, or anyone that knows production, you know, your shoot day, your time is the most valuable thing that you own. You're paying for time when you're shooting. You're not paying for anything else. I don't care what anybody says, how much money you've got. I don't care how much bells and whistles you've got. You're paying for time. If you've got more money, essentially it's going to get you time. That's what it's going to get you. And that's the thing that you need more than anything, because, you know, like everything I've shot, you run out of time. I've never not run out of time. It's impossible. So you want to get everything as much done as possible, as you can in pre-production, so everyone is on the ball and knows when that camera rolls that first time, everyone knows exactly what they're going to do, where they need to be, and everyone knows their job basically. Because a lot of times you get that where people haven't talked enough, and then you get on the shoot and then you've got all these delays of like, oh, why is that there, or where's the light there, or why is that being painted green instead of blue, and all that stuff. So all that, it comes with, you know, it comes with experience. I made all those mistakes, you know, we all make them. But I made so many mistakes when I first started doing music videos and stuff. And you learn from those mistakes quick, because those mistakes cost you your film, essentially. You know, I don't know what other people are like, but if one thing's wrong in my film, no one will ever know it, but I will. And none of those films that I've made, none of those music videos or whatever, that have one thing that no one has a Scooby that it wasn't how I wanted it, because they would never know, but I know, and therefore it's not even on my reel, because I can't watch it. Like I'm that type of director. I can't look at it. I can't see it. I'm like, it drives me insane, like, to look at it.
Even after that long, that would have gone into something.
Yeah, like I'm obsessive about it, to the point where, you know, I've been through a lot of producers because I'm obsessive about how I work, and sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. But the way I see everything that I do is that's my next best opportunity to get where I want to be. Every time I'm making something, that's my next best opportunity to push myself to the level what I know that I need to be on. So when something goes wrong, or something isn't how I want it, or something is interpreted incorrectly, other people might go, oh yeah, I really liked it. It's like, yeah, but you don't know what it's going to be. You know, you don't know what it could have been. You don't know what I wanted it to be, because people have got the fingers in it. And so from that comes also with, you know, different mediums. You know, commercial worlds, it's a completely different world. It's the most diluted filmmaking you can do. You've got agencies, you've got brands, you've got people, the big wigs, all these people with loads of money, marketing, all involved in the decision. And you know, you become this expendable thing as a director in commercials. Unfortunately, it pays, and I think that's why it pays really well, because you do end up being a bit of a tool to the system, and you know, you haven't got that freedom that you would have in your own work, where it's a narrative or a music video. Do you know what I mean? And that then takes you to post-production. It's exactly the same thing. And post-production is different, because you've got everything you need. It's all in this bag. You know, Alex, my editor, my long-time editor, who's an amazing editor. I've worked with him on all my stuff. He's just like me. We'll work 24 hours a day if we need to. We get told off together. we ride or die. We'll sit there and we'll just work until we've got it right. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people leave at 9 o'clock, leave at 5 o'clock because they want to go home. And that's fine. I'll no problem with that, people. But they're not my filmmakers because I'm not doing it. It's not a job for me. It's my life. Do you know what I mean? It's everything. So when I'm doing those things, it's to get it exactly how I want it to be, exactly perfect. And you need those people around you with that same vision. Do you know what I mean? And I've fallen through a lot of traps of working with people for different reasons, and it hasn't worked out. But mainly, it's always because I see, I look at someone, I'm like, why aren't you as passionate about this and about this as I am? Do you know what I mean? Like I love being here. I love it. I remember probably my best memory of filmmaking that ties into this. Sorry if I'm babbling, by the way. I don't know how long you want this to be.
It's a chat. That's what it's. It's loose lips here with
That's
fair one. Dani Deville.
Fair one. I was shooting my first short film, which is called Snare. And we were out in the woods. Sorry, my foot's absolutely killing. So,
For everyone who's just sort of joined, Dani explained at the start of the talk how he's damaged both his feet and he's actually in hospital speaking to us. What a trooper, man.
So we will all be. So I was in the middle of the woods. It was like 2 a.m, freezing cold in November, shooting my first film. Snare was basically about this gypsy, that's racist, traveller family who run away from their community for whatever reason. And they're out in this, they're out in the caravan in the woods and stuff. And I was shooting this scene, and I remember being in the middle of this wood, looking around. To my right was like 3 armourers with shotguns and 9mm, and they're teaching the actors how to use them and how to hold them. I look to my left, there's a trailer that's like being almost cut in two that we're going to use for the end scene. I look to my front, there's like the bad guy from The Fall with Gillian Anderson there, ready to step on set, who I'm working with. I'm like, bro, that's the guy from Fall. I'm looking around, all these things are going off. There's these 2K lights shining through all the trees and stuff, and I'm like, wow, I'm on a film set. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm on a film set. It might be my own short film, it might not be the one that gets me exactly noticed, but like I was just like, it was the moment where I knew that I'd made the right choice and I was exactly where I needed to be. Do you know what I mean?
Almost like stepping out of your own reality to appreciate where you've gone.
Yeah. It was the most out of body experience I've ever had, not on drugs. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I was literally like, wow, like I'm directing a film, I'm directing a film. And the truth is, whether I had £1 million for that or 10 grand, it's the same thing. It's the same experience, same setup, same decision. You just got more money. So I always say, like, when you go to the movies and watch a film that's been made for 100 grand and it makes 500 million, it was made in the exact same way the end game was made. It was just more people and more money. Do you know what I mean? So, I'll do what, sorry? Not yet, no. Sorry, I'm having a new cast put on my leg, and they've been supposed to come for like 2 hours, so they're stressing out. And that was my moment where I was like, this is what I want to do forever. Do you know what I mean? This is all I want to do, and this is all I will ever do. It's as simple as that. There's no coming away from it. This is what I don't like to say this is what I'm born to do, because I'm not somebody who drastically believes in fate, as in like, this is what your life is going to be before you know it's going to be it and stuff. I believe we do create our own lives, and I believe we have the ability to change and develop and manifest.
You've shown at Crossroads, or even when there wasn't anything there, you've changed the path to follow your desire and your passion.
Yeah, I think it's a trap that some people are getting. I think people are like, I'm destined to be famous, or I know I'm going to be a big actor, but they're not doing anything to get themselves there. If you were destined to be it, you could just sit on your ass and you're going to be it. Do you know what I mean? It's not the way it works. You have to get off your ass and go put in the hours and go graft, and you got to take the no's and the yeses, and you got to take the years on and the years off.
It's not necessarily graft when you love it. When you're in it, it's what you want to be around anyway, and it's about that development, and it's your own little nods that you've bettered yourself at your craft.
Exactly, yeah, and I think like that comes with you're probably the same, Brownie. Like when you're, I've watched you over the years develop your presenting and your comedy and different things, and like when I watch people do things, and I'm watching them from afar, I can still see what they're doing because I know that I've done that myself. Do you know what I mean? And I watch and I think, you've taken a step there. You've taken a step because I watched you before and I'm watching you now, and some things changed, some things moved, and the thing that's moved is you. Nothing's come into your life to make something any better or give you the opportunity. You've gone out and chased it down that little bit harder every time, and you've gone that little bit faster every time. And, you know, it doesn't matter what you want to do. I was talking to my ex-Aluna about this, and like I was saying, you know, she wanted to be a makeup artist, and she's a few different things, and it's like, you know, like I see things in people, and I see the talent in them, and I see the desire that they want to do it, and but like you're wanting them to go do it for themselves. Do you know what I mean? And you want to see them do it. Do you know what I mean? You want to see that person. You know they've got it in them, but back to what I was saying, the trap of being going like, oh man, like I know that's what I'm meant to do, but like I just don't know how I'm going to do it. It's like there's only one way to do it. It's hard work.
You said an amazing term earlier, and I'll say this term, and then we've got to let on to some of these comments that are coming through in group because it's absolutely going on in the chat. Absolute jokers have joined. But you said you chased it down. You chased it down. And I've never heard anyone say that. I've heard people say they chase it, but I've never heard anyone put it like, I chased it down.
Well, it's trying to get away. I believe that it's trying to get away from you. It's not staying in one place. Your success, the goal, that golden nugget that you're so searching for to make you happy, is not going to stay in that one place.
You don't think it's moving close? So you think it's getting away, but you're
getting quicker when you catch it? I think it's getting away from you. I think you're getting better.
It's an interesting look at it.
I think that the world keeps turning. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you throw something out into orbit, it'll forever be spinning around that thing. But if you don't chase that down and go and find a way of getting up there and going to get it, you're never going to reach it. It's always going to be there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Interesting way of looking at it.
And the bottom line is
to get better, to improve, to speed, to
exactly.
Catch it.
And it's not even. And sometimes it's not even getting better. It's just becoming wiser and more knowledgeable about the things that you already know. Do you know what I mean? It's like I am not going to sugarcoat where I am right now. Like I am my kind of like development has plateaued a little bit because problems with production company and different things, and supposed to move into LA. That didn't happen for different reasons. Only just got my visa last year and different things like that. And I could be way ahead, and I probably thought I would be a lot further ahead than I am now. But the truth is, that's the whole point of it. Like, it doesn't go hunky-dory all the time. It's not roses. It's not some, like, magical trip to Neverland that you're always ascending on, and it's like, wow, I'm getting better and better. Sometimes you're hitting these heights, and you're going, wow, look at me. I'm in the middle of the woods shooting a film, or look at me, I've won an award for this. And the next minute, you're sat there with nothing to do. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, shit, where am I paying my rent? That's the truth of it. So you've got to take that on board. Do you know what I mean? You've got to accept that that's the path, and the path of anyone in the art is that you're going to struggle most of the time until you make that one big leap to the next level. And that's just something you've got to accept. You know what I mean? And you've got to not be jealous of the people that make it quickly. You've got to not be jealous. You've got to not be envious of the people that have been given a hand up. Because
what's really helping me with that at the moment is I think it's Lao Tzu who said when you have a candle and it's lit, when a candle lights another candle, your candle doesn't go out.
Yeah, you stay lit.
There's enough light for everybody to create. You don't have.
You can pass it around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's something that's really helped me sort of just be grateful for everybody else's successes, because it knows that my own success is my own personal destiny to where I know I'm going to reach. So
you've got to drop people off who you see envy or jealousy in. You got to drop them off and leave them be. I don't care how long you've known them. I don't care who they are. If somebody's looking at you thinking, why's he got that, I should have it, or like, you know, like he doesn't deserve that, I deserve it, drop them off. They're not made to be on your journey with you. You should only be having people around you that would literally probably rather see you succeed than them, because by you succeeding, they've succeeded. Do you know what I mean? Like when I see my friends succeed, you know, like, you know, Waf, like one of our good mates, like
he's in the group, and we're going to come to him in a minute. He's proper popping up with comments.
Well, like I've got a lot of talented friends around me. He's smashing it. Do you know what I mean? He'll be the first one to say he probably wants to be further than he is, but he's smashing it. When I watch him smash it, I'm not thinking, fuck, he's smashing it, he's loaded, I ain't got any money. I'm thinking, mint, like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's living the life that he wants to live. I'm so, like, I watch him and I think, wow, like, that's just what you said, that's just a light to look at other people and go, like, I can do that. Do you know what I mean? I can be as successful as anyone around me. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to be jealous of them or want things from them. I've heard it, we've all heard it. You sit at an after party, someone's in your ear about somebody else, and it's like, oh, they've got this, they do that. It's like, why are you wasting your life? Do you know what I mean? What you wasting your life talking about other people for, or to other people? It's like, all that energy could be going into you, into your passion. The times when you sat with no money and you got beans on toast for tea, and you know that, yeah. But on the flip side of it, on your Instagram, you're popping off. Do you know what I mean? But they don't know you've got beans on toast. Do you know what I mean? They don't know you sat in hospital with broken legs. They don't know that you're wherever. They just see you and like, wow, that's such a sick thing you've just done. They don't know how much money you got paid for it. They don't know that you did it for free. They don't know that all those things that go into it. So, like, you've just got to be aware all the time when you're working that gratitude is the key to all of it. Because when you're grateful for this right now, this conversation, when you're grateful for everyone that you meet, the people that you haven't met that you're going to meet, or you're grateful for those things, like, you don't have time to be like jealous and angry and sad and all those things. All those things come when you make yourself idle to all those things. You know what I mean? And that changed me. You know, I suffered from depression for years. Do you know what I mean? Years and years. Suicide attempts. I wasn't happy for years, from 12 to, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I just wasn't ever happy. And that was the first step. Be grateful was the first step to me going, why would I be unhappy about what I've got now? I've got, like, you know, I'm looking at a flat screen TV and I'm playing on a PlayStation, and do you know what I mean? I've got people texting me asking if I'm okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, how can you not be grateful for that? And that changed me so massively. Like, it now makes me like comfortable in my journey. I'm not striving beyond what I know that is reachable for me, and every step I move, I'm going to move to it solidly and go, like, right, I'm locked up on this now. Now I can move to the next one and the next one and the next one. The goal always changes, but I'm happy with every step that I reach. Instead of going, I want that one that's over there, and I'm not going to be happy till I get it.
I hear you, man. I hear you. And like you say, chasing it down is such an interesting angle of how you view, how you've changed my perspective subtly with that subtle shift of like framing of word in there. So I big you up for that. We've probably got another 5 minutes. So I want to ask you about the relationship between a director and producer, and also what is going on with Los Angeles and that side of it, you know, flipping from London to LA. But before we do, shout out people in the group. So Waf, why aren't you replying to your message? Never mind being in this group. Reply to my message. I want you to be a guest as well, bro.
Because he's Waf.
Shout out
That's all you need to know.
Waf's going on about your legs, bro. He's absolutely ruining your legs.
He's lonely.
Fliss, shout out Fliss. Ukashana, I want you on as well, Fliss. So do hit me up.
Yes, Fliss.
David CW, he's been bigging you up through it as well.
You know David Woodhouse?
Yeah,
you know,
man. And ex Lulugram.
That's my ex-girlfriend.
Ah, hello.
Still very good friend.
Hello all. Thank you for thank you all for tuning into mine and Danny's chat. So yeah, for the next 5 minutes, do you want to sort of round it off with, like, you know, we sort of got to a point where you're in London, it's plateaued a bit, so maybe a bit about the photography that you've been doing as well, and then also then a step to the vision of LA as your golden mecca.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, when I say plateau, it was more like, you know, I hold myself up highly to what I want to be as an artist and what I want to create and what I want to shoot. And the opportunities that I started getting were, I felt, not in line with what I am as a creator. So I would start to turn things down. Things would come in less and less because what I wanted to do was out there less and less. And, you know, that happened over time. And it does happen, you know what I mean? Like, people move production companies all the time. Bands move labels all the time. Or, you know, DJs move managers all the time. It's just how it goes, you know what I mean? And when that happened this time round, because I was smashing it, like the year before last, I'd earned the most money I'd ever made in a year. I'd shot like 5 commercials. I was like, you know, I was cash rich for the first time in my life. I was like, wow, I've got money. Do you know what I mean? And it was a crazy thing. Hi. What you want to do my arm? Yeah, come in. You're going to see my arm getting done. Ow. And so yeah, it was just like, right, well, I need another form of income that's going to keep me away from. I didn't never wanted to do anything extra that was going to kind of stress me out or take me away from the passions that I had. And I take pictures anyway, and I was like, I could easily be a photographer. I've got the same eye for it. It's all the same stuff. I wanted to always be a photographer and work alongside my film work anyway. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of, start that. So I started doing photography, and that was great. It started paying well. I'm doing interesting projects, working for a lot of different people, getting really good at it now. So I'm setting up my own shoots now, fashion shoots, looking for models and crew, by the way, if anyone wants to get involved. And
It's so surreal.
Yeah, sorry. And yeah, so that's where I'm at in London, and I got my visa last year for LA. As you know, Brownie, LA's always been my dream. And I went over there for a month in January, and it was great. Michelle, who is the production company owner over there, are you putting it on my mouth? Can you put it under my arm? Yeah, put it under my arm.
Big up the front line as well, man. Big up the
Yeah,
NHS.
big
Man.
up this. He's saying big up the NHS. She said thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, I was like, I've always been trying to get there by whatever reason, and I was with my girlfriend over the last 6 month year, and it was like, my focus was on her and stuff, and that happens. You know what I mean? You kind of focused on different things and whatnot, and I'm single now, and it's kind of like, she's doing her own thing, I'm doing my own thing. And you start to come into yourself again, and you start kind of looking at, right, what do I actually want to do? And that's always been the thing that I've wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? It's always felt like the next step. I've got the team over there. I've got people over there wanting to. Yeah, I've got people there want to make movies with me and want me to write films. And Michelle is a good friend of mine over there. She's owns a production company called Nowhere. They've just made 3 or 4 films and different things. So that's the next step, really. I don't know when
that was a needle. Then I was like, that is the biggest needle I've ever seen. It just going to your heart. I was like, what?
It's a thermometer. It's proper Kaz.
I was like, what's going on?
Okay. So that's the next step, man. I don't know when it's going to be, but I'll be over there at some point. That's always been my kind of goal, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, I've got opportunities there that are far-reaching beyond London, and there's so much, writing-wise, and there's just so much there that I know I can grasp, and I'm going to smash it over there, and I'm going to make a movie there. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. So I have to do it at some point. Do you know what I mean? And there's been things got in the way, and the things that got in the way haven't really been in the way. It's always just been my own kind of blockage. Do you know what I mean? I've been like, this is a big step. I don't have I don't have family around me. I don't have support. I've never had that kind of unit of to fall back on. So it's always been scary. It's been fine in London and England because it's I've lived this life, but to move to another country and not have anyone backing you up, I don't want to be homeless. I don't want to be that kid homeless on the streets of LA, which is very possible. You know what I mean? You move to another country. So, yeah, it's this is probably a good time to end it. Do you know what I mean?
This is Hayes. Right, it is a probably good time to end it, my brother. Cause
But basically, you're gonna see one of my movies in the next couple of years, without a shadow of a doubt. I've got shorts out there. You can go search them down. My artist name is Wolf Cub with a V, WOLFCVB. You can go watch my work and support. I'm doing a fundraiser. What's it called? Crowdfunding for my next short, which I'm trying to get crowdfunded. So I want everyone who gives a shit about me or my work to chip in and get my next film made, because I've got a wiki script that is going to boss, and I just need to get it made. So I'm going to be putting a fundraiser up for that at some point in the next couple of months, I guess, and keep working on that. And that's back to what we were saying, bro. Always be working, always be doing something, whether it's the smallest thing, whether it's the tiniest little thing. I have a board at my house, a whiteboard, and even if I'm not writing something, even if I'm not shooting something, even if I'm not taking pictures, even though whatever, I'm always writing little things on that whiteboard, whether it's a little poem that I've thought of, or whether it's, you know, a scene or a character that I've come across, or like in here I've met like 3 or 4 crazy people, and it's like, you're obviously going to be in my next film. That's where characters for films come from. The people, the writers meet. So I'm always writing these things down. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm always doing something. Do you know what I mean? And I always feel like that I'm doing something, even if people don't see me doing anything and whatever. Do you know what I mean? And people write you out. Don't forget about that as well. It's not all cream. Do you know what I mean? People will write you out. Even people close to you will write you out and be like, nah, I don't know if he's going to make it, or is he really good enough, or is he really going to do anything with his life? You know, all that type of shit that you get all the time. It's not all like support. Like, we've got this. I always felt our friends lived in a bubble because we were so supportive of each other and so into each other and into each other succeeding and stuff, that you don't realize that outside that little bubble, like, people are out for themselves. You know what I mean? You've got to be aware of that. Do you know what I mean? So that's another reason to, like, always just be focusing on yourself, because people aren't focusing on you, they're focusing on themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get twisted. And it's important to just put yourself first, and I think that not enough people do that. Do you know what I mean? Not people are putting themselves first. My friendship groups got so small, so small from that alone. But because the people I give my energy to now are people that are going to enrich me and make my life better, and that's what's important. And we'll leave it at that.
You're a G. You're straight up G. And you're straight up gangster limping for the next few months anyway, officially with your pots. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
No worries,
Definitely
brother.
massive chat. It was positive, which I knew it was going to be. Get well soon. Let us know how you are. And also then, because I believe this will be continuing after the whole climate changes and everything, it'll be good to have another catch up when you're ready to do your crowd fundraiser and maybe do something
Bro,
around that.
definitely, man. Definitely. Oh, you hit me up anytime, and you know I've always got time for you, bro.
Respect, my G. Look
Always.
after. Peace.
Love, man.
So there you are, everyone. That was me chatting with Dani Deville, director extraordinaire, photographer. It was an enlightening chat. He was actually in hospital. If you missed the start of it, what I'll be doing is all the chats that I do, I always upload them to my YouTube channel, and then I'll be passing them to the people we spoke with to share out. So you'll be able to see it from the start, but it goes into how he actually injured himself. But thank you, everybody who's been active in the group, shall we say. WAF, hit me back. Get any of your messages. I've DM'd you. I definitely want to get you involved with Loose Lips, so do hit me up, brother, because it'll be good to get you on board. Next up, I'm going to end this chat, and I'm going to start another chat with the drummer of Liam Gallagher's band, Dan, from one Dan to another. So make sure you check that out, because we're definitely going to hear some cool stories and just get on a level and hear about how he became to be how he is and in the position that he is as well. And I've met him before. He's a cool guy, so it'll be a sick chat. Thank you to everybody who's joined in. The aim of Loose Lips is to help you sort of forget the situation we're in, and you know, I want to just send blessings. We'll get through this together as one and all. So peace and light to you and yours. See you for the next chat.